Oh, Al, this is a new one on you.
Yep.
You've never been down here. We're going walking with Wurzel. Walking with Wurzel. We are going to go to a secret location. We're going to walk across Haddiscoe Marshes. Okay. We're going to walk across some marshes down to. We're allowed to. I don't know if you've really got public right of way. I don't think it's a public footpath, but my dad owns a bit of marshland down at the end here. So we're going to walk down there and have a look. And it's a lovely, lovely place. So this is the pound. And I can remember when this was built, this didn't even used to be here. So we all built this because this driftway onto the marshes, we used to walk down here so that the trucks would pull up here and we would unload the cattle or the sheep, but usually the cattle, and we'd walk them down. But you'd quite often bring them into here first or last after that was built, so that we could just bring the truck down and not cause too much of a aggravation. So this is looking over as well. Now you can see it used to get quite muddy. So we're going to walk up this long driftway. I think it's about 1.5 miles or so, I suppose. We used to walk the cattle and the sheep along here quite often, but sometimes we would drive them down, especially when it's dry. The track doesn't look too bad at the moment here. There's a bit of a dip there. Do you know what, Al? At one point, right, because we had Suzuki Jeeps and we used to bring a trailer down here with the sheep in. Do you know what our best vehicle for this was on this causeway? Citroen 2CV6. Great, loads of high clearance from the wheels, and what you could do was whip the back seat out and get 3 sheep in there. 3 sheep? God forbid! You couldn't do it with a cow though. I suppose you could take the roof off, you could.
Yeah.
Or a giraffe. What do you reckon, Wurzel? This is all new for you. See, there's no way you come down here in a Spitfire.
Or my car.
No, but you could.
Got down that far.
Absolutely, but you could in a Citroen 2CV6.
Yeah.
Stop and wait, let him roll. Yeah, but he stopped. You liking this, Wurs? Is it exciting?
No, you could be.
You enjoying this? It's exciting? Are you happy? Are you happy to be here? Are you happy to be here? Are you happy to be here? Are you? Don't even need a ball to chase, says Wurzel. Don't need a stick, don't need a ball. I don't know anything here. I've never been here. This is the best. There you go. So this is why it's called marshland. So you've got all the drainage along here, all the irrigation. Now these are called dikes in Norfolk. It's quite interesting because here in Norfolk a dike is a ditch. And elsewhere as well, I guess. Whereas in sort of Holland or say Vietnam as well, a dike is the bank, you know, between sort of irrigated areas. So the dikes are the raised bit. It's quite extensive. What they used to do is you'd come down with a digger every now and again and they would drain it and they'd go along. So you can see here on this bit across the other side there, let's see that patch of thistles and so on. See how it's like a line? That's where the spoil from the dike was removed and popped on there onto the grass, and then that in itself will become the new bank and so on. But it's very fertile, obviously, from all the silt and sludge and everything that's decayed in there. Well, Wurzel, here's a bit to film. Here's a bit I'm going to tell you about. No, that's private there, you're not allowed in that bit. See, someone's made their own pound there so they can bring them off the marsh and then lock them in there or close them in there to then come through and drive them. Now, down here, Al, come look at this, see this railway sleeper?
Oh yeah.
Right, well, that is the bridge that the marshmen uses. So you have a marshman here, and what they do is they come and they check, you know, when there's people who've got their animals on here, their stock, their livestock, and they walk all over the marsh, which is a massive marsh, right, and goes across the road all the other side, and they'll walk across on these. Yeah, Kestrel, look at that. Look at this big Norfolk sky. Can you see this big Norfolk sky? That big Norfolk sky actually goes over to Suffolk.
Wow.
It's better in Norfolk.
I would so fall off that wooden plank.
You would. Norfolk and good. Yeah, it's been a harsh winter. Look how it's all been churned up and sunk down. And that. My dad used to bring any rubble he had, spare brick and everything, put it down, just to make up for it. But you just get one tractor down, it's buggered.
Style up.
Ignore me, might roll. I've got to get out of it. I've got to get out of it. I've got to get out of it. When you're in a rut, you've got to get out of it. This is kind of like wild Norfolk. This is unknown Norfolk for most people. Because it's not somewhere you'd come and walk because there's... Right, okay, just mark your territory. That's heron. Is it?
Yeah.
See, they're a funny looking thing. They're huge. They're lovely. I always think they look a bit like an old Ju-52 Junkers aircraft. He's coming over. Is he? He's going away. Might come round. So this is quite deep here. It's quite clear. There's plenty of fish in these dikes, but you can't generally see them. And there's a patch from the dredging there, and if we look over here, we've got ourselves 5 little cows. I've no idea what they are now. Back when I was a kid, I'd have been able to identify them, say, oh yeah, because we used to have MRIs and Friesians and Aberdeen Angus, Galloways. That's all come back to me now. Charolais. Some people had Charolais. There was no Highland cattle around here at the time. Then somebody brought them, but oh, there they go. So here we go, this opens out now. This is the end of the driftway. That opens out, there's a nice deep bit here. I did fish down here. I once saw, all the gates end up like this. They get tied up with string. Here you go, bit of the old baler twine. There's a lovely bit, I did fish here at one time, I didn't get a thing, but I'd seen a massive fish kill here once. This whole bit was full of dead roach and rudd and things. Don't know what caused it, chemical oxygenation or low oxygenation. And I always used to love staring down here. Unfortunately it's really weeded up now, but that's 12 foot deep from memory, 15 foot deep when I was last down here. So you got some lilies over there. See this bit here, this is a natural bit to find some pike. You get some nice bits, and you can stand here, you just cast. Be great. So he's now there.
He was rolling again.
In the gateway. Surprised it's open. I remember these old sort of gates. Yeah, that's all very cool. Now, this here, this is your old railway line to Beccles. Okay, so from Beccles that way to Yarmouth that way. Now this, you see the shape? This is just like a long, narrow field, right? And that's long and narrow. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you that. So this is really long, and this just runs long and it's narrow because of being the old railway line now past your marshland. There's a bit of gorse there. And same there. Now, that is a farm down there. Do you know what farm's called?
Railway farm?
No, it's called Long Acre Farm. Oh, okay. Very good, very good. Very good name. I can't remember the name of the people who used to have it. So, this is my father's piece here. This is the pound that my father built. He's good Lord, Dad, your gate is badly damaged. Who's done that? Who's done that? God. Blimey, we've stood down here up to our knees in water when it's flooded. Big old railway sleep just what? That's a bit of a mess actually. I'm gonna have to bring my father down here.